Hello, everyone. As you already know from the poster that we are convening for our fellowship program. So, I'm hosting this to take an informal interview of Vanessa, who is also my friend. She's from River State, Nigeria, and she's a climate change advocate, same like me. And then she's doing wonderful projects, collaborating with great people around the world, and she's making impact as a young leader. So she'll be sharing her insights. And we are both doing the Climate Leaders Fellowship under Stanford's Deliberative Democracy Lab in collaboration with Rustic Pathways. And we are both undertaking our projects individually, but we have come here to collaborate so that we get to know about each other's passion, each other's interests, and what are the work that we are undertaking as individuals as a whole. And she is also a sustainable development advocate, and she's doing a lot of other work. So let's talk to her.
Hi everyone, it's nice to meet you all and thank you so much for joining. My name is Vanessa Kai Valentin. I'm 14 years old and as said, I'm from River State, Nigeria. I'm passionate about climate action, raising awareness about climate change and other forms of environmental degradations. And currently, I'm the founder and executive director of Egalitarianism for Earth, which is a non-governmental organization aimed at raising awareness about climate change, developing mitigation strategies, and eradicating children climate illiteracy. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. So let's move forward with the questions. I have um, like 7 to 8 questions in general to ask to you. So I hope you will be able to answer them one by one. And if you have any other questions to ask to me, I'll be happy to answer them as well. Okay. So the first thing is, you told me that you're from Nigeria, right? River State, Nigeria. So that's your origin. When you talk about sustainability, what are the pictures, which vividly flashes in the people around you?
Okay, so on my journey as a climate advocate here in River State, I normally raise awareness about the 2030 agenda, more about SDG Goal 13, climate action, as well as life on land and life below water. And well, most people here don't really have the idea on sustainability and how their activities they carry out contributes to this anthropogenic climate change. So when I raise awareness about these issues, I always get this curious mind, and it shows that people aren't like they are not carrying out these activities because they want to harm the environment. They are carrying out these activities because they are not aware about how it leads to these environmental degradations, how it leads to global warming, how it leads to climate change. So when I tell them about sustainability, they have this curious mindset and they all come together to like find ways we can solve these particular challenges. So the type of image that comes to their mind is like this thing is something that is very urgent, this is something that needs to be tackled, and they start being more curious and diving into the matter. So it's just the lack of awareness here that makes people not really interested in things that relate to sustainability. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that really makes a lot of sense because here too, people in India, we are taking a lot of initiatives like our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's doing a lot of, very impactful activities like Swachhata Hi Seva. We have this thing called Swachhata Hi Seva, which aims on cleaning India. By 2047, we are aiming for a fully developed India. India is often regarded as a developing country with the highest population in the world, beating China's number. But when they think about India, they kind of think of India as a product of mimicry. They mock India for its high population. But when you think of the immense possibilities that the country holds, because the number of people dwelling here are such large in number, we can do a lot of other things as well, which can develop our country. So by 2047, which is 100 years prior to our Independence Day, which was back in 1947, we got independence. And by 2047, it will be 100 years. So we are planning to celebrate a fully developed India. Viksit Bharat it is. Yeah.
That's so great to hear.
Yeah. So, I would like to ask you, what are the work that you're undertaking, or what are the courses that you're undergoing currently, and how has life been in general as a climate advocate?
Okay, so for the first one regarding the work I do, well, I've been carrying out different projects, and one of the current projects I'm working on is the Children for Climate Initiative, which is an initiative that is focused on the children and raising more awareness about climate education, why it's compulsory and needed for children development, and empowering these young children to become environmental stewards. When I was in primary three, and our teacher taught us about different forms of environmental degradations, being pollution like water pollution, air pollution, and he taught us deforestation. I feel like I was the only one that was concerned about this matter. Most of them just read this topic. They were not really interested about climate change. They weren't interested about deforestation, how it's leading to plant and animal extinction. And this thing really bothered me a lot. And I decided to write the book Amama that talks about saving the life on land and stopping deforestation. And after then, I've been carrying out like creating eco videos that talk about this climate change, pollution, and during this process, I discovered that most children were not attracted to climate change. They weren't attracted to taking environmental actions like I was. And I discovered that if children of nowadays are not into environmental stewardship, they don't care about tribal matters that relate to sustainability, then all our efforts now would be a waste. Whether we're converting to renewable energy, in the future, these children might decide to go back to fossil fuels. These children might repeat the mistakes of the past, rendering all our efforts useless. So I decided to start the Children for Climate initiative, and its focus was to like empower these children with the right climate skills and knowledge they need to become eco stewards. And so far we've been able to reach over 200 students here in River State and spread more awareness, spark meaningful conversations online. I also wrote an open letter to the federal government of Nigeria demanding for children climate education compulsory in schools, just like the way they teach science, math, and other subjects, and also using animations because these children might not be attracted to facts and statistics that explain the phenomenon of climate change. And I discovered that these animations was a great way of communicating and telling climate stories, telling them how mother nature needs us. And I also raised awareness in my school by creating this visual reel diary where I got children to write about how they feel towards mother nature and human activities. I still have it on Instagram there. And well, that's the work that I've been doing. And some courses I've been taking. Well, I took the UNITA course, which was the on climate change negotiations and health, to make me understand more about climate change, diplomacy, and health related aspects. I also took some course from WHO, the Open University, Sailor Academy, and lots more so that I can keep learning and understand more about the field. And well, life as a climate advocate has truly been one of a kind. I'm actually loving the work as a climate advocate, raising awareness, and it's actually my way of playing my part in the cycle of life, in the ecosystem. And well, that's it. Although I've been facing some critics online because of this climate change, saying climate change is not real. There was one video I posted on YouTube that people were actually criticizing the video and forgetting the message that was being spread about climate change. And the comments were really so sad, but I still had to continue. And another challenge I faced as a young climate advocate was when I wanted to carry out these workshops, and some of the schools had some strict privacy policies and the rest. It took me some time before I could like host certain workshops. So, yeah, thank you.
Honestly, hearing to you speak all this makes me feel like we are doing a lot lesser actually, because you've been undertaking so many things at such a young age. Imagine after 4 years, you'll be going to places. No wonder.
Thank you.
So, yeah. And when I was preparing for the poster yesterday, I noticed that you mentioned that you're the youngest ever to be recognized by UNCC, right?
Yes.
So how does that how did it feel?
Okay, so I actually felt quite surprised and happy at the same time because my actions were actually recognized, and it was something that felt truly inspiring and motivating for me because when I first started, nobody actually listened to me that much creating those videos, and somebody even told me that I'm not even living up to my childhood, like having fun and the rest. But I actually had fun doing all this climate change work. And so when I was recognized as a UNCC Learn Champion, it was like something that I felt really happy and very dear to my heart. And also as a Gen Alpha leader, I find this as something that is inspiring for other young children like me, showing that our voices can still be heard when we talk about tribal matters that relate to sustainability. So it's just like me representing other alphas.
That's true. That's true. Like, seriously, my hopes. I mean, we both have a considerable age gap of 4 years. That's not a big difference. But when I see my own people around me, I realize the fact that people are so succumbed to mediocrity, and they are often indulged in mobile games, gaming, playing games such as PUBG, Free Fire. I don't know if you've heard them, but yeah, Minecraft. They're all so busy in playing games that they don't get enough time to practice what is really supposed to be practiced. Something such as climate change, advocating for sustainability, and simply just drawing or singing or writing poems, or it can be as simple as that. Even doing such small things can bring a huge difference. You never know what will resonate with the other person's mind, right? But I really realize that we need more people like you in the world so that world as a whole can become a better place to live in. So yeah,
Thank
your journey has been very inspiring.
Thank you. And I truly agree with what you said about young people playing games and not engaging in tribal matters and other important things that needed to be solved in society. So I think that if more young people are involved, then well, we can all create a ripple effect and achieve the 2030 agenda.
Sure. So what does sustainability and climate change mean to you as an advocate?
Okay, so climate change is bound to happen. It's something that we cannot avoid. But recently, the climate change is something that scientists or other people would describe as anthropogenic, something that is human induced, something that is human driven and not natural, well, artificial. And it's something that's affecting the whole ecosystem. It's affecting biodiversity, leading to the loss of plants and animal species. It's also affecting human health. And in terms of sustainability, I view sustainability as having that mindset of long term impact, something that will be long lasting, something that is able to create um, a good effect that is more long lasting, more impactful, and not just thing that's just like a short term goal, like the type of resources that we're using, the type of clothes we wear, the type of food we eat. All these things are not actually sustainable now. So sustainability is having that long term mindset.
Your most memorable past projects, which you really liked working on?
Okay, so one of them should be the visual reel diary. I enjoyed working on that project so much because I got to talk with the juniors in my school about climate change, and it was actually fun because we didn't put it as a research work. We made it so fun and interactive and this type of short storytelling. So it was actually fun and memorable. And watching the children write about how they feel towards mother nature and the environment, I really enjoyed that moment. And another event project I carried out was when I was celebrating the FXB 35th anniversary. It was so fun because even after the workshop, the children kept shouting, "Happy FXB anniversary!" I really loved that one. And another memorable project for me, I think, is one of the workshops we did in one of the community schools where the children and I got to do a campaign for saying the things that they need, and we created this song about we need air that is clean, and it was really fun. So those are the memorable moments for me.
Wow, that's really nice. even even me, we have this college association called as NSS. It's a national association, okay? Like all around, all the states of India has that association, and we are just one part of it. You understand, right? So it's a really nice thing. We went to beaches. We had a beach cleanup. We have campaigns. We have rallies, and we go together. And that's really nice to have people who care about the same cause as you.
So true.
Yeah. So, what are a few of your future project areas? You know, what you're planning to implement?
Okay, so some of my future plans, I think we're still working on creating more educational resources for children to know more about climate change instead of just hosting these workshops and creating these animation. And this is something I and my team and I are working on. Also, I'm trying to understand more about corruption and how it affects climate financing. This is something I'm currently studying. And I think a project that we're also working on is more campaigns for children climate education. So these are just some things that we're doing now.
Okay, so we have been joined by one of my friends. Okay, so Samit, would you like to introduce yourself, or should I do it for you? You can just type it in the chat. All right, I think he is either busy doing something or it's all right. So let's continue. So, when you talk about collaborations with organizations, right? You told that you've been collaborating with some non-profits, or I don't know, from Lebanon. I heard, right? Lebanon, right?
Okay, so
So, tell me something about that.
okay, sorry for interrupting you. We just really started, and I contacted them. It's FECRA, and it's an educational organization that aims at giving mentorship, educational resources, and tips to high school students and also graduate students. Um, So, because for my Climate Leaders project, we're actually working on donating educational resources online for free to young individuals to know how to like track their carbon footprint and other sustainable tips. So, this was something that I pitched to the one of the managers here in FECRA, and he actually liked the idea. So, that was something that we're working on right now. So, it's just donating for educational resources that we'll be creating.
So, is it a part of this Stanford project, or is it for something else?
No, it's part of the project. That's my project.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. So when we talk about reaching out to NGOs for collaboration, people, at least in India, don't have a very prerequisite idea as to how to reach out to, companies or organizations or NGOs, and how to ask them for collaboration. And even in the arena of research, when you think about research, people don't really have an idea as to how to cold email people and approach for research. So what's your take on that?
Okay, so for me, I also find it somehow hard to partner with organizations and the rest. And currently, the organizations I'm planning to reach out are the ones that I've already known and maybe undergo one of their projects or their programs they offer to high school students. So I'm still trying to learn more on how to pitch properly and send these drafts to organizations. But I think that one thing that we should know is like we must know what our project is about and the type of organizations we're reaching out to. And where we're reaching out to these organizations, we should learn to be concise and straight to the point so that they understand more about what we are doing. And also to have a clear goal and vision. This actually attracts them more.
Okay. All right. That really makes sense. And talk a little bit about your own company. I mean, your own organization that you have
Egalitarianism for
founded.
egalitarianism for rights. Okay. So I actually started egalitarianism earlier this year. That should be around March or May. when I started this organization, I had this idea of an organization that helps young children and also adults know more about sustainability, know more about carbon footprint. So it's just something that is educational and developing some mitigation strategies. And so far, as I said earlier, it was after I started this organization that I was able to carry out the workshops and actually organize more about the goals, the visions, the aims, and know what I'm trying to achieve as a climate advocate. And we've also been developing more programs recently. I started a volunteers program under the organization to get more volunteers, and that's something that we're currently working on. So far, we have about 36 volunteers with us, and also with the Global Ambassador program. I just started sending out emails to some of the ambassadors that applied. The aim of the organization is actually to bring about social and environmental justice. That is why we called it egalitarianism for Earth. So egalitarianism is actually a principle that describes justice, fairness, equality. So I thought that we cannot achieve any form of social and environmental social justice without tackling environmental injustice, and vice versa. That social and environmental justice work hand in hand. So that's why I call it egalitarianism for Earth, to represent the interconnectedness of all beings. Um, and in the future, we also like to carry out bigger projects like tree planting, um, campaigning, environmental conservation stuff, etc. So this is just a little about my organization. And currently, I have team members. My team members, I have Kenzie and Krishna. So Kenzie is the program manager, and she's from Jordan, and Krishna is from India. He helps with research and also policy development and ideas. So, thank you.
That's nice. Yeah, that's really nice. You've you've got a lot of plans to, implement in the coming days. That's really nice. Because, organizations, once they open, they either tend to malfunction at some point, or they kind of stop their activities after a certain extent when they get to know that either their sales are not increasing, or they're not getting the kind of feedback that they're looking forward to. Then they completely stop, they feel bad, and they give up. But yeah, you've been doing well, so I wish you luck with all that you do, and I hope even I'll be able to contribute a little something from my end,
Thank you so
because
much.
yeah, we are working towards the same goals. So yeah. And yeah, this is a very general question that comes to my mind. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I mean, no mention, not to forget that you are a United Nations climate change and the youngest ever in the entire world, not only in Nigeria. I mean, it's a huge thing, right? Yeah. Where
Okay.
do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, thank you. So where I see myself in the next 5 years, maybe carrying out bigger projects that contributes to the environment, and also creating a long lasting impact with more people involved in things that relates to sustainability. And also I really want my animations to become more standard and become more attractive. So this is something I'll be working on during this 5 years. Because I believe in the power of activism in climate communication. And well, in the next 5 years, I also see myself fighting more for climate education as something compulsory in the policies, and well, stopping things like deforestation, and also building my community with the indigenous people. So this is just a little about it.
Yeah, that's nice. So, when we talk about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, education is a very vital element that we can't really tend to forget. So, when you think of education being a part of sustainability and you're linking it directly with climate change, so it's something really inspiring of you to, think of it in that way and, interlink it and do something for it. But also, when you think about education, what are your future goal or aim? What do you want to study in future? I mean, you're just 14. It's very young to ask you. You're a very young person to ask that question to. But still, like, what do you want to study in future? I know
Okay.
it's not tech.
Okay, so I'm actually passionate about both natural and social sciences. So I'm planning of like maybe combining this in the future, studying maybe something like psychology, philosophy, and well some science related course. Because this is something that I've also carried out research on as a research scholar, girls in research. So yeah, I really enjoy both tracks. So I'm trying to like figure out the one.
So when you spoke about justice and your company that you founded, um, why don't you think of pursuing law? Is it that? All right.
My mom wants me to study something like law and the rest, but maybe I'm not really too passionate about it. But yeah, it's a good field, and I can consider that too.
I mean, two of our leaders are the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and a man of your land, Nelson Mandela, were friends. So I was thinking of that.
I really love Mahatma Gandhi. Like he's one of my role models, and most times, anytime they ask like my favorite quote, I always quote the one by Mahatma Gandhi where he said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." I really love him so much, even the history and everything. I think he should be one of my favorite leaders from India.
Maybe. I mean, he studied law in South Africa. So, yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually know that he studied law.
Yeah, he studied law in South Africa. That's there. And while really reviewing the kind of interdisciplinary person that you already are, I got to know that you're also interested in research. So, what are the research interests that you're looking forward to, work on in the coming years?
Okay,
The
so
fields.
Okay, so currently right now, I'm just like carrying out research in both natural and social sciences areas. And the first research I did was the implications of AI and robotics in the field of neuroscience. I also did one that was studying about animations and behavioral change and the psychological impact, something like that. Okay, I really enjoyed carrying out that one. And another one I'm currently working now is on climate change and mental health. But in the future, I hope to carry out bigger researches, maybe something that deals with viruses, cures, all those kind of things. I just find research something that is very fun. Also maybe carrying out research in areas like history and philosophy.
That's really nice. That's really nice. Even I am currently, working towards achieving a very good published research paper on marine protected areas as I'm living in the India, coastal side of India. I mean, the coastal part. It's a place called Mangalore. So there are a lot of beaches, dude. A lot of beaches. So we are currently looking forward to, protect the marine biodiversity which is existing in our place. So yeah, that's the main goal. That's the area that I'm currently working on.
Oh, I find that's a very interesting research.
True. Is there any question that you wanna ask me?
Hmm. Okay. Throughout we've just been talking about climate change and me and my community. So I'm like wondering about your own climate change actions, projects, and how climate change has also affected your community.
All right. So it was in the year 2019 that I underwent a survey. It's called as Green Schools Program. It was a normal survey. It was a Google form quiz which I was asked to do by one of my teachers. And I not only did the quiz, but I also wanted to make sure it was during the COVID time, 2019 was the year of COVID. So we were asked to write a research paper in just a few words. Research paper in the sense not a detailed one, but a rather a short one. So I wrote a research paper and I pitched it to the organization that was responsible for sending the survey. So they really liked the research and they called me for one of their environmental day meets and they asked me to explain my project and I did that really well. So they appointed me as the ambassador for biodiversity for their initiative. So that's where it all began. And then I've presented a lot of my research posters in conferences. And yeah, it has been good. The journey has been good. And also working on this Stanford Foundation project has been good.
Hello, can you hear me? I think your network. Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't actually quite hear you because of the network problems.
Oh, all right.
Well, I think I heard much more about what you said and going to conferences, presenting your works, and well, being ambassador for biodiversity. I really think that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious, what's your climate leaders project about?
So, my Climate Leaders project is all about focusing on interdisciplinary areas within which I can collaborate climate change and other subjects like neuroscience, finance, art, dancing, music, everything. So, when you think about climate change and singing together, what you can think of is making songs which, promote lesser pollution. Probably, we can do that. And when you think of art, there are different types of art forms like charcoal art, digital art, anything that promotes, a greener and a cleaner future is what I'm looking at. So, yeah.
So I really love the thought of that, and especially in the arts area, because I think that is called activism, using arts to raise awareness and with the goals of activism. And it's truly inspiring. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed talking with you today.
Yeah, likewise. Even I really got a lot of valuable insights from talking to you. It was a very good meet with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.